Good evening, everyone. I'm Kay Donaldson, Director of the Alabama Bass Trail Tournament Series, and this will serve as your official meeting for the Lay Lake Tournament, the fourth stop of the Alabama Bass Trail South Division for 2022. Welcome in. We are going to kind of run through this meeting efficiently, but cover everything we need to cover to get you ready and out on the water for Lay Lake. Again, this is the fourth stop of the Alabama Bass Trail South Division. Points are getting tight, and it's going to be an interesting tournament down on Lay Lake. First of all, I want to give a huge thank you to the Shelby County Commission for their sponsorship of this week's tournament. They've been a partner with the Alabama Bass Trail for the last 8 years, and we look forward to our ninth visit over to Lay Lake. So want to thank them. Also highlight Kendall Williams. She's been our local contact there. We've worked with Kendall for the last couple years, and she's always a delight and always there to do whatever we need her to do as a local host. So thank you, Kendall, for everything you've done to get us to Lay Lake for this stop. Also, I'd like to recognize the winners from the Alabama River, Brian Stifler and Wesley Gore. They took home just over $10,500 of Alabama Bass Trail and Garmin money. And from what I heard, they took home quite a bit of other Toyota bonus bucks, Yamaha Power Pay, and some other things. So congratulations to that team, automatically punching their ticket to the championship later on this year at Lake Jordan, and also moving them into second place in the Angler of the Year points. Also, Team Adam Bain, Chris Colley for taking home the $1,000 Amherst Highest Finisher Award, coming in, I think, in second place, taking home an additional $1,000. And then Randall Hamilton taking home the Wadawi Marine $1,000 highest finisher bonus. That is, I think, his first time to do that this year, but I think he did it one other time on the South Division. So congratulations to Randall Hamilton for taking home the Wadawi Marine highest finisher $1,000 award. Also, just to highlight, Rob Lee, Steve Winslet, they are currently leading your Angler of the Year points by 14 points. Heading into Lay Lake, a lake that they have a lot of time on. Going to be interesting to see how this affects the Angler of the Year race. I do want to remind you the top 75 in the points get into the championship later on in Lake Jordan. Also the 5 winners. So right now, if you looked at the top 75, we have 2 teams that are inside that top 75 that have won tournaments. So that would bump us down to 77th place. So that is how things stand right now, but we still have 2 tournaments left to go. And I know there are some teams looking to make some big points jumps this year or at this tournament. Also, by now, you have probably received your email about the 2023 Alabama Bass Trail schedule. That went out last Friday. It was posted on our website as well as on our social media, and all of our anglers did receive that email. I want to remind you that you are privy to priority registration August 1st through the 14th of this year. You can go on and register as long as you are fishing with the same person that you fished with in 2022. You can use priority registration. If you are changing partners, changing divisions, you will have to wait until August the 15th at 6 a.m. So please do not attempt to register for a different division. Please do not attempt to register with a different partner. If we see that you've done that and somehow tricked the system to let you do that, we will refund your money and ask you to please re-register on August the 15th. So please don't get caught trying to go around the system. So I do want to give you a couple of reminders. This will be our 4th tournament, so by now you should know this. But after reviewing some of the footage at the Alabama River, I don't think you remembered. Please, please, please do not get on plane until after you have passed the blast-off boat. Do not get on plane coming through the boats. Do not get on plane until you have passed the blast-off boat. We have lots of equipment on that boat, and we do not want it going overboard, and we're asking you to please do not get on plane before you pass the blast-off boat. We would hate to call you and let you know that you're disqualified from the event, but do not pass the blast-off boat on plane. The next thing is I will be contacting everyone on Thursday or Friday if you have been voluntold to have a camera or a tracking device. You'll be notified via text message or a phone call to let you know. We do have about 12 teams with cameras. You will also have a tracking device, and we have another 25 or so 15 teams that will be given a tracking device that is attached to your key fob. This is to enable our live team to be able to get to you quicker and cover you on live coverage. It doesn't mean we'll only cover people who have devices, but it does allow us to be able to find them quicker and get to them quicker. So again, we have 10 or 12 that will have cameras and devices. We have another 15 or so that will have just the tracking devices. So please make sure that you leave them in the on position so that we can track you and cover you while you're out on the water. We're going to go ahead and get to Scott. I will stay, my microphone will stay hot, and I will be able to respond to your messages over in the messaging. Please post all comments or questions in the comment section here on the video. We'll be glad to answer those throughout the evening. Please remember you can contact Scott or myself through regular business hours, 8 to 6, Monday through Friday. So Scott, we'll go ahead and let you get started. We're going to have to get you a light.
Well, nobody wants to look at my face, Ms. Kay, I promise you. All right, Chris, we're ready. We'll go ahead and get started with our presentation. Guys, as always, here's Chris's number. He will be your contact for anything and everything related to our live coverage or any of our TV or camera issues. We'll go to Chris at 901-493-0437. Rules, as always, when we start these presentations, I'm going to read our protest rule out loud and verbatim from our rule sheet. Protests must be made in writing within 15 minutes of the official closing of scales at each tournament, and any written protest must be provided to the tournament director in writing within said time period. If a protest is not made in writing within the required 15-minute time period, the contestant waives his or her right to submit a written protest. Next slide. Welcome to Lay Lake. Boat check will begin at 2:30 a.m. We will be checking in by water at the flashing lights, and we'll go over protocol for water check-in again later in this presentation. Safety first. Anytime your big motor is running, you must be wearing your PFD. And remember, when we're running in gear, the kill switch tethers are to be attached. Please follow all water posted control signs and buoys, and PFDs are required at the dams. Blast off at 5:30 a.m. or safe light. Days are getting longer. We would hope that we can be ready to roll by 5:30 on Saturday morning. First flight is due in at 2 p.m. This will be a trailered event. We are 12 inches on largemouth and 12 inches on spotted bass this week on lay. All right, logistics. You'll see that we have a very small off limits here that just kind of makes a nice little loop around right there at the ramp and the docks. We obviously don't want to be fishing in those areas where we'll be releasing fish, and boats will be blasting, or not blasting off, but launching and tying up. Water boat check will be on the end of the long T dock. Boat check will be, it's a little bit closer to the actual launch for this site. So you guys need to make sure that you are rigging prior to boat check. You'll have plenty of room in the parking lot to go ahead and get rigged. Be ready to roll when you get to boat check. Make sure that you have the correct text message pulled up so that you can receive your fob and be ready to roll there at boat check. You don't have very much space after boat check once you launch, so please do that pre-rigging in advance. We'll have folks helping with parking. You'll see in this slide, we've got the trailer set up down by the closer to the water. We are probably going to set up in the middle parking lot. I'm going to go down on Thursday and reevaluate. None of that will matter as far as launch and that kind of stuff. None of that changes, but you'll see the setup once you arrive on tournament day. We're probably going to have the trailer and the release trailers and everything set up in the middle parking spots. We'll lose about probably 10 or 12 parking spots there, but we should be okay. We'll have a lot of folks who come by water here, and we have ample parking as well. You'll see that the blast off and check-in boat is on this slide as well. That will actually just be your check-in boat. We're going to utilize our auxiliary blast off from the mouth of the creek, and we'll look at that on the next slide, I believe. There we go. So once you're launched and everything, you'll just idle out the S curve there, and you'll stage inside the bay, just inside the last little bay there before we get to the open water. You'll see us come by in our blast off boat. We'll be in our center console boat that Mr. Eric McGuire drives. We'll have our flashing lights and the music and radio and everything going for you guys. And we'll get out right at the mouth of the creek there. And as Miss Kay says before, and when she was doing her little deal at the beginning of this, please make sure that you idle out past us until you get on plane. We seems to be an issue at every tournament, and guys get a little excited and you're ready to buzz on out of there. But please don't get on plane until you have left the mouth of Beeswax Creek and past the blast off boat. If you are going to fish inside Beeswax, you still have to come out and idle past the blast off boat and be wary of the other anglers if you are going to fish inside Beeswax. Next slide. This just shows traffic flow and some parking. Hopefully we won't have to utilize the parking all the way at the end of the auxiliary, all the way on the end down there. If we have enough folks come by water and you guys listen to us, our workers will get you in those spots that are close to the ramp and alongside the roads there, and we shouldn't have any problem. Parking usually goes pretty well here at Lay out at Beeswax. Next slide. Again, I am Scott Dobbins. I am the tournament director. Here's my phone number, 256-309-9852. Everybody should have that in their phone. As always, in an emergency situation, call 911, and then only when safe to do so, call myself or Kay. And remember that if you have a situation, you will have to call Kay if it is after I've stepped on stage to start weigh-in, and weigh-in will start at 2 p.m. this week. If you're coming by water or using an alternate, make sure that you text me by Friday at 5 p.m. Again, the deadline is Friday at 5 p.m. You'll receive your text on Thursday night at 7 p.m. stating your boat number. At that point, once you have your boat number, you can certainly text me and say, hey, boat 78's coming by water, or using my alternate so-and-so for so-and-so. And next slide, I think, does a good job explaining that as well. Again, if you're using an alternate, please state your alternate's name and which partner he is fishing for. If you are using that text to just say, I'm coming by water, I don't need any names, just a boat number will suffice. Again, 256-309-9852. And the deadline for that, everybody say it with me, Friday at 5. All right, guys, any questions, comments, or concerns? As always, shoot us a Facebook message, or you have my phone number, you got Kay's phone number. She said before, we'll be glad to respond or take those calls or text messages during business hours from 8 to 6. We'll all be around this week. If you've got questions or concerns, please let us know. We're looking forward to a good event this weekend. That's all I got, Ms. Kay.
All right, thank you, Scott. I did want to touch a couple of things that we had happen over at Weiss Lake about a week or so ago. I do want to remind you, you can only use your alternate to fish one time, regardless of if you're excited about points race or not. You can only use your alternate one time. Please do not try to sign up and use your alternate twice. That is a reason for disqualification. So please do not try to use your alternate twice. And then also, when we put a camera in your boat or we put a tracking device in your boat, it is to be returned to the key fob stand or ask one of us to come and take it off of your boat. Please do not attempt to throw it onto the check-in boat in the afternoon. We ask that we put that on there when you come through boat check. We ask that you either turn that in with your key fob at the key fob stand or ask one of our staff to come and take it off of your boat. It is not for you to throw to the blast off boat. So please do not do that. We did have that happen at a tournament just recently. So those are the only things that I have. I do want to remind everyone that this is a trailered weigh-in. We've done it both ways this year. We are going to do a trailered weigh-in. We will be getting in touch with you soon about cameras and tracking devices. We are excited to make our way to Lay Lake on Thursday afternoon. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you do have questions, please submit those in the comment section or text or email Scott and I during regular business hours. Thank you so much, and we will see you at Lay Lake in just a few days. Have a blessed evening.